immediately snapped back awake to the sound of knocks at the door.
Oh, hell no.
We were in the middle of the woods. Knocks at the door were a huge concern. Nobody
You
should be.
think? What's up, y'all? It's me. It's John, aka Dark Wolf 92. How's everybody doing tonight? I know I've been gone for a while, and I say that a lot of times. And I am sorry. I am truly sorry. I had to step away, okay, because there was a lot going on in my personal life. Um, y'all don't really want me to get into that, but I just want to say that during that time, I took some time to get myself together. I did some things to see what I could do to improve the channel. Got a new camera, got some new lighting. Still need to work on my lighting some, but hopefully I will be able to get everything back up and running right and even better than before. Still need to get my audio right. I'm still having some trouble with that, but I hope I can get that down pat real soon. Um, I just want to give a huge shout out to all my subscribers who have stuck with me. I've seen some go, I've seen some come, and to be honest, I gotta wonder if YouTube's just unsubscribing folks again, like it always does. This platform is getting crazy. But anyway, I'm back, and I'm going to stay back, and we're going to start this out with, since it is the spooky month, we're going to start this out with a video from Mr. Nightmare. Okay, now I'm pretty much this channel is pretty much going to be just a straight reaction channel. I do have a gaming channel, which I'm going to put the link in on the description, and it'll be on the channel. And it's called Dark Wolf's Den of Gaming. Originally, when I started it, I started playing, State of Decay 2. And I got up to, I think, episode 7. And like I said, just like with this primary channel, I just stopped doing everything because things got crazy. I am still looking for a job. Yes, I am unfortunately still unemployed. But a brother is trying. Trust me, he is trying. But we're going to go ahead and get this video started. Okay. And I just, once again, thank you to all my current subscribers who have stuck with me, waited for me to come back. And I'm going to go ahead and put my whole foot into this channel from here on. Both channels, all right? And also tomorrow I will be returning to streaming on Twitch. Okay? I'm still trying to decide though what I'm going to stream. Okay? But anyway, just to let you know, I'm going to get back to streaming tomorrow, starting tomorrow on Twitch. And without any further delay, I've already wasted enough time babbling. Let's go ahead and check out this video, okay? So these are 3 haunting true October
The
stories.
town I grew up in was pretty country, to put it lightly. Farms, crops, abandoned churches, and ugly, worn down houses.
Damn.
Everyone around us was pretty broke. Property taxes were like $1,000 a year, if that. With that came a lot of
It's
sketchball
ridiculous too.
characters. Hell, even our neighbor was a weirdo. Nice, but weird. We weren't well off ourselves.
I think
but
some people
things
think
at
that
least
about
got a
me and
little
my
better for
neighborhood.
my family when my siblings and I were old enough to work too. This app, Hot or Not, was still a thing many years back. I matched this girl, Kelly, who I started seeing for a while. We matched in late summertime. We were seeing each other through September already. This was early October. Kelly and I were looking for a nice, cheap date to go on. Really, there wasn't much to do around there. We've gone on hikes, explored, and gotten food. Not much else going on. So we took a new route in the car this day, somewhere neither of us had been, just to find something. We found this little restaurant sitting in a random parking lot on the side of the road. It had outdoor seating, so we went there. It was a warm, cloudy day when we arrived and got seated at a table outside the restaurant. We were there for 45 minutes to an hour, and after leaving, it grew noticeably foggy out.
When he said 45 minutes to an hour, I thought he meant waiting for service. I was like, oh, hell no.
Continued to drive down this route we'd never been down before. A really desolate road with just open fields and farmland on either
Oh,
side.
hell no. That looks like Silent Hill.
Woods. Then we passed something different. It was a sign for a pumpkin patch. It was a very cheaply made sign. It wasn't some big billboard or anything like that. It was a wooden picket sign that said pumpkin picking this way,
Mm.
and an arrow pointing to the right. Right behind the sign was a dirt driveway cutting through the field. Through the fog, we saw a house that the driveway led to. So a spur of the moment decision. We both agreed we wanted to check it out because why not? It drove
That
off
is
the
a
road
pretty
down
house.
the driveway. We passed
But the way this
house, which
picture
was
looks
back
makes
end.
it look
It was
creepy.
covered by trees in two directions, the left side and the far back side. Tucked between the house and woods was this big pumpkin patch. It was a genuine pumpkin farm. We saw at least 200 pumpkins scattered all over the place.
Mm.
That was just what the fog allowed us to see. We parked next to this old jalopy of a pickup truck,
Mm.
the only other vehicle visible on the property. We noticed an older couple sitting on the back deck of the house. As we got out, the two of them got up and greeted us. I said we're here for the pumpkin picking. The old woman said with a smile, "Welcome, pick anything you'd like." I asked her how much it would be for a pumpkin. The old woman said it's free. We were surprised. The fog was acting as a sort of barrier.
Especially that time of year.
The two. It was a little creepy. I could still tell that it looked like the old man was smiling at Kelly. His smile was very gummy. It was kind of gross.
Mm.
We both said thank you and started walking into the pumpkin patch.
Yeah, it's kind of
A lot of
weird.
the pumpkins were on the smaller side, bushy and just not very attractive. The ground was also kind of wet from the fog, I guess, and some of the pumpkins felt wet and muddy too. It was hard to find a really nice one, but eventually we did find one. I picked up this big, healthy-looking pumpkin. It was heavy. I brought it over to the back deck where the old couple just was. They weren't there anymore. I asked Kelly if we should just leave. She said probably. It really felt like we were clear to leave since we already thanked the couple and they made it clear they were free. So we got back in the car and I started doing a three-point turn.
Ain't no
with
such
the
thing as
drive
free
through.
99 in this day
We
and
heard
age.
someone yelling outside. We both got startled and turned to face the house. We saw a middle-aged man in a cap yelling, "Hey, stop."
See?
I lowered the window, and he put his face through the window and yelled, "What the hell are y'all doing? I'm calling 911." I said, "What did we do?" He said, "Put that pumpkin back right now." Kelly and I talking over
See?
each other both tried to explain to the man that the older couple told us to take whatever we wanted. They assumed they were his parents. The man said, "What older couple? What are you talking about?" I replied, "Are your parents also here?" He said, "I ain't got no parents." Kelly and
I ain't got
both
no
looked
parents.
confused and looked at each other. I said, "Sir, there was an older couple sitting on your back deck 10 minutes ago. They told us to take whatever we wanted." The man said, "There ain't no older couples here." He asked where the pumpkin is. I told him in the back.
If that's how he talk, you
locked
tell
the
he
door
country as
after he
hell.
grabbed the pumpkin. He said if we ever came back here, he'd shoot us. And then he spit at the ground and walked back to his house. He took
No.
us out of there. We were as
Damn.
confused as could be. We considered the idea that maybe it was a joke. A real sick joke.
Yeah.
I made a joke saying, "What if they were ghosts?" Kelly said, "Stop," clearly freaked out. And I got the chills myself as I thought about what I just said. There was silence in the car for a few seconds.
That a
We
person?
both pondered that idea.
Standing there?
Out of curiosity, one day my two siblings went to that pumpkin farm to go pumpkin picking. They bought a pumpkin from the guy we saw. They probed him a bit, asking about the farm and if the man lives there with anyone. The man said he lives there alone. This was unsettling to hear. It truly, to this day, doesn't make a lick of sense. Could the man have been lying about the older couple being there? I don't know. Possibly, but why? The scarier question is, what if he wasn't lying and he truly does live alone? And who were those people?
I'm thinking, well, it could have been some, like he said, it could have been a sick joke. Maybe the guy had a couple of crazy old neighbors and they decided to come over there and mess with folks and that's how that got started. But still, that's really messed up if that's true. Jack G.
It was late October. I woke up to one of my best friends, Connor, hitting me up, asking if I was down to come to his house later. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was in high school at the time, so I spent most of my weekends with friends. Connor's parents were out of town for the weekend, and he was home alone with one of his older sisters. I'll just call Chantell. She was supposedly watching him the entire weekend. With that information, I knew he was just asking me to come over and party. Again, I didn't have any work responsibilities to worry about at the time, so I agreed to the idea and headed over to his house. When I got to his house,
Yeah.
he played some Call of Duty on his
Those
phone
were
in
the
his house
days.
for a few hours, talking about school, sports, girls, and whatever else we cared about at the time. Eventually, he brought up the idea of going to a Halloween party in his neighborhood that A bunch of people from our high school were going to. At first, I was a bit hesitant of the idea, but after some convincing, I was down to go. I'm not introverted or anything. Just wasn't feeling like partying that night. But Connor was dying to go, so trying to be a good friend, I agreed to go. I asked him about getting some kind of costume, and he had 2 security staff shirts that we could just throw on and use as the bare minimum of a Halloween costume. We continued to play on Xbox for a few more hours until 10:30 rolled around. Connor ran upstairs to Chantell's room, telling her we were going, as if she cared. Then we threw on our shirts and headed out. After a quick 5-minute walk, we pulled up to a Halloween decorated house.
That messed up looking pumpkin.
From inside.
You can tell somebody used AI for this. Or Mr. Nightmare used AI. Because that pumpkin got one eye.
The place was packed with maybe 70 other high school kids raving and just talking in groups throughout the house. It was your average high school party. A few minutes later, I had already lost Connor as I was pulled aside by Lino, one of my baseball teammates who I'd hardly seen at all that year. He sat me down on a couch in a circle with some of my other friends and teammates. We continued to talk for a couple hours, laughing at dumb memories brought up in conversation and partaking in activities that normally go down at parties. At this point in the night, I was feeling tired and completely out of it. I knew it was time for me to go home and get some rest for the night. I looked through the party.
The hell is that on the wall?
He was flirting with a girl in the corner of the kitchen. As I accidentally interrupted his conversation, I asked him if it was cool for me to go back to his house and sleep. He agreed and said he was going to stay for a little longer. The girl he was talking to asked if I could go get some drinks from the basement. I agreed to do so after realizing I completely interrupted their deep conversation.
The basement.
It was the least I could do. It didn't take me long to find the basement. I opened the door and headed down the dimly lit.
Why I gotta go to the basement?
I stumbled down the last few steps and fell into the fridge. As I opened it, I was greeted by a man's voice behind me, who tried quietly saying boo. I jumped and threw my hands up, facing the direction I heard the voice from. It was a tall, 35-year-old looking man wearing a black cloak costume and standing behind me.
I like that outfit, that setup right there.
His gesture with his hands.
Even though it's probably
What was
AI.
that for? I yelled with a clear slur in my speech. The guy laughed and introduced himself as the party host's cousin. I was so out of it, I didn't even question why he was in a dark basement by himself. There was a massive party going on upstairs with loud music. The guy awkwardly tried making conversation, but I told him I needed to get my friend his drink and leave the party. I'm honestly pretty open and chatty to strangers when I'm out of it like that. But even at that moment, I didn't like his vibe. I tried everything I could to get away. He blurted, "Nice meeting you," as I turned around, walking up the creaking stairs. I told my friend goodbye and left the party.
I didn't say
Lights
anything
and
to
Halloween
anyone.
Decorations on each house in the neighborhood lit up the street as I walked back to Connor's house.
Ooh.
It didn't really matter though, because the walk was literally 5 minutes at most. I reflected on the weird exchange I had with that man in the basement as I walked. I couldn't shake the odd vibes he gave off. The more I thought about it, the weirder it became in my head.
Just left and didn't tell no
I
one.
eventually got to Connor's house. It was completely dark, and Chantal's car was gone from the driveway. I was home alone. I walked into the dark, eerie house and didn't bother turning on some lights. Just headed straight to the basement to sleep. I walked
Another
down there
damn
and passed
basement.
out on the couch. I lay like a baby for maybe 15 minutes until I heard a crashing noise upstairs. It woke me right up. I tried listening for anything else, but I heard nothing. I thought I was hearing things and tried getting back to sleep. I don't know how much time passed from when I first heard the crash, but I could hear the floorboards above me creaking like someone was walking on them. I thought it was Connor or Chantel, but it sounded way too heavy to be either of them. I pulled out my phone and texted Connor, asking if he was home yet. I stared at the ceiling, trying to listen. The door to the basement opened.
Oh, hell no.
I could hear a person walk down the staircase. I peeked around the bend of the room to see the stair opening. I saw the man I saw earlier at the party, standing right there quietly, illuminated by the stair light. I tried not to make any noise, praying that the man would just walk away. A few moments passed by before he randomly turned and quietly walked out of the basement, closing the door. I picked up my phone and dialed 911. Explained the situation to them, gave them everything they needed, waited patiently in the basement for them to show up. I tried opening the windows down there, but they were all sealed shut. I had no escape through the basement door that the man was standing by earlier. The cops eventually came, and they arrested the man because he was still there. He was found hiding underneath Chantel's bed. She had gotten home and was getting ready for bed It was moments from getting into the bed when she heard the cops knocking on the front door downstairs.
Damn.
I have no idea what his intention was, but
Oh.
clearly he followed me home. The whole encounter has really confused me. I'm just glad things played out the way they did. Oddly enough, the cops were able to review neighboring houses' cameras. They saw the man following me home, but then he lost me after taking the corner into the cul-de-sac. He ended up lurking on Chantell, watching her get out of her car and walk into the house. Then he snuck around to the backyard and broke in through the back door. Always be alert of your surroundings.
All right, so this fool followed him down the street to, well, he got lost, but then, oh my God, that's messed up. See, I guess I'm just paranoid. I be paying attention to everything when I'm out and about. And at night, I make sure everything is locked down. Okay, I even got the old Smoky right there in the nightstand. So I'm not playing with people crazy nowadays. I'm not playing with these fools, man. Allison.
It was the middle of October. The leaves were just starting to change to that beautiful mix of orange and yellow.
I missed that.
My wife Courtney and I are a gay couple. We've been married for 2 years now. We wanted to take advantage.
That's one thing I miss about living here in Texas.
In New York.
The changing color of the leaves. See, like that.
Popular hiking destination. We're avid hikers, so we go all over the country to explore national parks and famous hiking destinations. This was our third time going to Catskill, New York. The owner of the Airbnb was an adorable-looking, sweet woman who was definitely in her 50s or 60s. Out of respect, I'll just name her Kathy. Kathy was very easy to work with and very responsive. She had the key to the little house hidden in a code-locked mailbox, and she gave me the code. Inside was a very rustic and cabiny type of feel, with wooden walls and floors.
That house looked like an old lake house my buddy's parents used to own.
It was well kept and nice.
That is nice.
Spacious enough for 2 people.
Damn, I love those doors. That
There was a
kitchen.
shed converted to a little clubhouse outside, with a pool table and dartboard and a bunch of things hung on the walls. We drove to the base of the Overlook Mountain Trail, and there were some people around. Not many, but a few. As we were ascending the mountain on foot, we'd pass occasional hikers on their way down. Eventually, we sat on a big rock overlooking an amazing cliff view, just admiring for a while. Eventually, we heard a footstep crunching a leaf behind us. We turned around and saw a woman by herself, leaning on a tree. She was like 55 or something. She was clearly looking at us until we turned and saw her. Then she awkwardly looked away. We would have otherwise said hi, but she made it weird. We just ignored it, until randomly we heard her say hi. So we turned again and saw she was looking at us. We said hi back, and she asked where we're from. From here, we just got into a seemingly normal conversation with her. She said her name was Melinda, and she was from the area. She asked where we're staying, offering her knowledge of the area to suggest places to check out. I told her right up the road at an Airbnb.
I would have told her crap.
Some places to go, and then the conversation kind of died off from there. Courtney and I said, well, it was nice meeting you, as we now started descending the trail back towards the car. Weirdly, we noticed the Melinda lady was now also heading down as well. She was keeping a bit of a distance, not within earshot. We found a spot to rest on the way down for a minute. We noticed Melinda seemed to stop too at the same time. She was still out of earshot. This was weird. We felt like she was following us.
Yeah, she is.
Stay put and wait her out. See if she'd move. After a while, she finally did continue making her way down, past us. She looked at us and smiled and said, okay. She walked past us. We waited till she was out of sight before we continued walking down. We got back to the parking area a while later. From there,
y'all have a good night or anything like that?
Right up the road. We were exhausted, so we took a nap. Then we went out to eat at this place called Garden Cafe, which was highly rated.
That is
After
cute,
that,
though.
It was pitch black out, so we went back to the Airbnb with plans to just cuddle up and watch movies. We had a long day of hiking, so we were going to sleep good. There was only a TV in the living room, but it was set up to have Netflix and everything, so we found a good movie to watch and put it on. We were so tired that we started drifting off to sleep halfway through the movie. I noticed Courtney was completely knocked out, and I was following suit. Suddenly, I was immediately snapped back awake to the sound of knocks at the door.
Oh, hell no.
We were in the middle of the woods. Knocks at the door were a huge concern.
You think?
There was no peephole in the door. Couldn't check who was there. All the blinds were closed, and I wasn't going to dare peeking out of one of them.
I wouldn't have said
I
anything.
shook Courtney awake and told her someone's at the door. I muted the TV. We waited for a second set of knocks that came only seconds later. We both agreed there's no shot we were opening the door. It was still early, like 9 o'clock, so I texted Kathy asking if she was at the door. It was then a knock at the window, and a woman's voice on the other side asking if someone in there. Courtney and I were now freaked out. I'd say we were in a panic. Knocking on a stranger's window is not a normal thing somebody does.
No.
What happened next was even more disturbing. We heard the person trying to lift open the window. Thankfully, it was locked. Kathy was calling me now. I showed Courtney, and she said maybe it is her outside. That's why she's calling. I picked up in a low voice, and Kathy on the other end told me she was at home. She asked who was outside. When I told her what's happening, she sounded confused and concerned.
Call the
None of her
police.
friends or relatives would go to that house, she said.
Call the cops.
Told us don't open the door.
Ooh, that's
Took
cute.
her advice. After hanging up, there were now knocks on another window.
Call the damn cops.
I need help. Please let me in. We knew better than to fall for this. Something bad would happen if we let them in. We started to realize it could have been that weird lady from the hiking trail. Like, what if she followed us back to the Airbnb? We honestly wouldn't have even noticed. I went to the bedroom. It was completely pitch
The hell
black,
was that?
and I ever so delicately moved the blind up just a crack to peek outside. There was a man walking past the window. He didn't notice me. I went back to Courtney to tell her that there were multiple people out there. This was an invasion.
Damn
Called
that.
911.
Finally.
Gave them the address and stayed on the line. There were a few more knocks at the door, but we never answered. People outside eventually gave up, I believe, because the knocks and yells stopped. The police took a while to get there, but when they did, we felt a lot better. The officers were very nice. They stayed with us while we figured out what we wanted to do. I called Kathy again and explained what happened and why we didn't feel safe staying there tonight anymore. She was completely understanding. We still paid for that night, but the rest of the stay was canceled. And the officers stayed with us while we packed our things and loaded the car. One of them led us in his car to the nearest motel where we stayed for the night. Given the circumstances, we drove home the next day because, honestly, we just didn't want to be in the area after that. We think this was some kind of group that was looking for easy targets to abduct. They may have been using a woman as some kind of scout to get
Yeah,
in
it
the
sounds
trust.
like it.
And they saw two young women by themselves, so they tried to target us. For future hikes, we've started to bring pepper spray with us, just as a form of self-defense.
Damn that. I'm taking the old Smokey with me. Forget that. See, when my mom was still with us, that was something she wanted to do. She kept saying she wanted to go camping and go out in the woods. Me personally, excuse me, as a kid, that was all fine. But man, growing up, people are just too crazy now. You can't, they be doing some dumb stuff. Dumb stuff. Anyway, y'all, that was crazy. The guy with the basement story, that was messed up. I mean, shoot, he should have went up and told somebody at the party that there's a grown ass man in a black outfit hiding in the basement playing boo. Why didn't he tell somebody at the party? Teenage logic. Anyway, and that last one, they sitting there worrying about if somebody not going to do it. Shh. You come pounding at my door out of the blue, knowing that I'm in the middle of the woods and nope, nah, man, I'm calling the cops right then and there. Either that, or I'm gonna shoot through the door. Anyway, all right, guys. I hope y'all liked the video, and like I said, I've been doing a lot of things to improve the channel. As you, like I said, I new camera, working on my lighting, still trying to get the audio right, and I'm making changes in my office. That's why you see boxes over here and stuff cluttered on the back, stuff I got to put away or throw away. But it's been a lot going on, and I'm going to be honest, it is nice to be back. Okay, so yeah, thank you all for your support. That's all I can say. Thanks for sticking with me through all this. And well, everyone who has stuck with me, all my subscribers. And like I said, I do have a gaming channel. I'm going to get back to gaming on it, which I will be for the holiday, for Halloween. I'm going to be playing several scary games like Visage, Silent Hill F, friggin' Dead Space, just a collection of scary games. and these will be either played on my gaming channel or I will stream them on Twitch. So guys, just pay attention to when I post these, put these notifications up. Make sure that you're set to get notifications when I put these videos out. Okay. And as always, if you like the video, you like my reaction, help your brother out. Hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Okay. Because that is imperative to help the channel grow and to get me out there in the YouTube algorithm. Okay, as you all know. And I see a lot of people who come in here who do view the channel aren't subscribers. It's crazy. Very few of my subscribers actually have been viewing the videos from what I've researched. So guys, it's imperative. Please hit the like button. Okay, to help me grow this channel. All right, share the video, and if you're a first timer here, stick around. Okay, please stick around and subscribe to the channel. All right, it will be appreciated. I also have a Patreon. It's been up for a while, but like I said, when everything that's going on, I haven't really worked on it, but all of that's going to change. I'm going to go ahead and start getting videos uploaded to that again. These will be videos that will be completely uncut, like movies and shows, reactions to those. Like I said, I'm going to be reacting mainly to a lot of movies and TV shows, and of course gaming trailers and movie trailers, and also a lot of other things like I've done, like with Chisel Adonis, CJ the Champ, just crazy stuff that I find on the internet. Okay, so just hang in there with me, guys. I promise you it'll be a lot of fun. And as always, everyone have a blessed evening. Take care of yourselves. Stay blessed. And I will see you all in the next video. I'm out.